Oh, okay. I'm Alex Moore. I was in the construction team for this project.
My name's Rob West and I was the resource team manager for this project.
Okay, gentlemen, could you describe your role and the responsibilities in it? Starting with Alex, please.
Okay, I was the construction team. Basically, I was tasked to make the base of this set, as well as add like colours, like we've got the red for the wallpaper and whatever. But I was basically tasked to put the actual flats together, add the supports and everything because it's freestanding, and then for the creative team to do their roles.
Thank you. And Rob?
I had the job to actually find the materials for the piece of set, the wallpaper and the wood underneath, and help the creative team make the design for the final product.
Okay, could you talk us through the sample that you've got in front of us and explain why you've done a sample?
We can call this the kind of demonstration piece of set because we didn't want to get it wrong on the big main set, which would ruin the final product.
Yeah,
so we've made it on this one first to check the lighting and the wood and how realistic it would look. And this polystyrene kind of ledge here, if that got snapped, then we could buy some more for the final product and we could easily fix it.
That's more to do with budget. Like we wanted to originally use a wooden dado rail, but they cost too much, didn't they? And it was like over budget, so we decided to use a polystyrene one. I mean, we were going to use cardboard for that, with the idea of it being cheaper, but it didn't look as good, so we decided to use actual wood and then put the effect on that. And even though that costs more, that looks better. So.
What was also affected by the budget was the wallpaper, because we researched what kind of wallpaper they had in the times back then on the ship, and it was very much flowery, modern, big kind of design. So we went and looked around and couldn't find many really, but the only one we kind of found was in a company called Laura Ashley. But there for a roll was £18 a roll, and that was too expensive because we were on a tight budget.
This is actually blank wallpaper, isn't it?
So we went to a company called B&Q, and we found this blank wallpaper which we could put onto the set, and we could paint it ourselves.
So we selected our own painting colours, what we thought fitted in, because we want luxurious sort of colours, so we thought red was quite, it fitted with the character, and it was a design that we felt was very suited for the cabin that we were creating, so it fit in with the budget, so that's another reason why we use this blank wallpaper.
Thank you. Rob, you drive, and the group chose you for that role, and you elected yourself in a sense for that role.
Yeah.
Why was that a benefit to you, and how did you use that?
Well, in the time we had to get it sorted, if we needed, say example, one day we needed paint on an emergency call, and it was ideal that I could drive because I just got down what the paint was, what price it was in the budget, and I could just go out with someone else, get the paint, bring it back, and it was there straight away. So that was quite ideal really that I can drive, because also we went researching as well to B&Q for other kind of lights and doors and wood for the base here, for example, and we got pictures and prices and everything, and we did that in part of our time as well.
So whilst you were doing that, what were the other group doing?
They were researching at home. They were doing the designs for the final designs. If they already had some wood at school, for example, that was free wood, which helped in the budget. They could start either cutting it or making the shape or starting the construction from the construction team.
Thank you. Talking about construction, Alex, can you talk about how the frame is put together? It might be useful to reverse it so we could have a look at it.
Help me bring it out your way. We originally thought that we'd use a canvas here, but we wanted to add our own wallpaper, so we decided just to use a plain board of wood. It's quite thin wood, as you can see.
And what are the benefits of using that thin wood over a canvas?
Well, to be honest, with adding a new wallpaper on, we were conscious that when we were painting on the wallpaper or applying it, that we might tear the canvas. or damage it, and then that only means we'd have to buy in another one. So it's just going to be adding to the budget. If we just use wood, it's quite versatile, and we can just keep adding, and it's, we don't have to worry about it breaking off.
Another reason was that maybe in the final show on the night performance, if there was a bit of movement behind the set and it wobbled, then the audience would visibly see the set wobbling, and it wouldn't look realistic enough and solid enough to be a wall.
Exactly, because you have to remember it's supposed to look like a cabin. So behind this would actually be metal if it was on a ship. So it needs to be solid, and the audience needs to feel that, so that it feels more like a realistic set.
I noticed that you've purposely painted the back black. What was your reasoning for painting it black?
I think that's mostly to do with the fact that if it was natural wood, then when the lighting hit the actual wallpaper, it might shine through and create like silhouettes, whatever, and then you wouldn't get the full effect. So with the black on the back, when the lighting hits the board, you're seeing just the wallpaper as opposed to it like shining through. So
okay,
that's quite essential for that.
If we talk about the frame for a second, then I noticed that the frame is nailed. Is it onto the board?
Yeah, it's nailed. We were going to use we were thinking about staples and no more nails. It's like a glue, and we messed around with it, but it wasn't quite stable enough. You have to remember that this is like a freestanding set. So at the moment, this isn't everything we're going to do to it. I mean, we're going to have triangle supports here to add more stability to it, and we're going to have triangular supports actually on the bottom because it's freestanding. If we would have used anything like glue or whatever, it could have come apart, and then that's obviously that's adding to the budget because that's even more damage, isn't it? So.
Yes. The frame itself, what's it made out of, and what were your reasons and choices behind it?
Plain wood.
It's just is it 2x4? Is it or something?
It's 2x2. 2x2 plain wood.
Yeah.
But what were your reasoning? What was your reasoning behind that type of wood?
Well, it was very cheap, to be honest, where we got it from. So it was under budget, and it's just it's quite thick as well, 2x2, and it's just it was perfect for what we needed really. Because again, if it's a freestanding set, we need something quite strong and something that's going to add support, and this does the job. So
how was your job made easier by the roles that other people were given? Because you needed this wood at certain lengths. What did the group do to help you out with that?
Well, I mean, like Rob's role, you've got the resource manager. So I mean, like when we said we needed this particular type of wood, he could go out, he could drive to B&Q, whatever, see if they had that wood available, and then when he brought it back, of course, if it was too thick or too thin or whatever, and we needed more wood, it was easy for him to just pop back out again and trade it. So as well as everybody else researching and looking what type of wood we need, I don't know, it just sort of benefited us because you've got other people doing little areas as well.
The design team as well also helped by making a computerized kind of final design.
CGI model.
CGI model. And that gave us a bigger picture really of what it is finally going to look like, and it gave us a bigger idea of the kind of wood we need and what colour paint, so that made my job easier as well because I could just go out there and get it and bring it back, and if it wasn't good enough I could just easily take it back and get money back and swap it. So.
Last question, how did you manage your time with this project? Was it all done in class, or did you have to...
Well, I wouldn't say the majority of it was done, but...
Quite a lot of it has been done in class.
I think it was equal, to be honest, yeah.
A lot of the team came in on one weekend, well many weekends actually, to come in and build not just this set but the whole set for the production we're building this for. They were here sawing and cutting and nailing together the main frame for every wall, not just this one but the main big one for the actual show. So they came in on that Saturday, and that was it mainly out of school, but in school it's been either after school while rehearsals have been going on as well. The design team have been painting most days, actually coming in at lunchtimes and breaks in the spare time just to finish it off.
We've tried to get most of it done in lesson time, but if there's something that really needs doing and you're not going to have enough time this week, or if you've got a specific goal for a certain week, like to have this painted or whatever fully, and you haven't got that done by the end of the week, then obviously you're going to need after schools or weekend times. So I thought it's quite equal, isn't it? both times. So.
Okay. What are you most proud of in what you've done? As far as your role is concerned, what's one of the biggest achievements for you? If you turn it around, it might be useful for you to talk about it. Something that might have saved money, or something which was a design element of it, or construction element you thought was effective?
I'm pretty pleased, to be honest, with the staying in budget, because there were times where we would have gone over budget and wouldn't have been able to spend it on other useful props for the staging. So for me, it would be that it's remained in budget and it still looks like it's the desired set that we wanted, and it looks exactly like we wanted it to. So
Yeah. What I'm most pleased with really is what you can see, really, the final product. Before we started, none of us was really very confident in building it, construction, painting and everything. But as you can see, as the time's gone on, we've learned off each other. The design work has done a great job in painting it. The construction team has done a good job about the height, because we don't want it too short, because your head might be over the top of the set and it wouldn't look realistic. So they've done a good job in building it. So yeah, the most proudest thing is that we've actually done it successfully, and it looks good and it's right for the performance.
Thank you very much.